we got another release that I want to talk about. That's one of the news things that we wanted to hit. The Iron Man Mark III, sorry, the 2.0 Iron Man from Hot Toys has been released. And I want to ask the question, is it the definitive Iron Man? Because there are, I think, collectors out there who view the Mark III as the definitive Iron Man suit. And that's it to me. I mean, I think this thing, I told Kiko before the show, Dean, I don't know if I've ever felt more temptation to buy a figure than this one. And this was always one that was on my radar. But the problem being, I don't have space, I don't think, for having 3 Iron Man figures because I have 1 Marvel Module case, right? So I have 2 Iron Man figures right now, the 7 and 85 battle damage. I'm not sure this one's going to fit in, but Kiko, for collectors looking for a first Iron Man or maybe just looking to expand their Iron Man collection, is this the definitive Iron Man? Because to me, this is the first Iron Man suit, but some people may differ. What do you think?
Well, it is the first Iron Man suit if you're talking about the red and gold being on your screen for the first time. I mean, think about how cool. I probably maybe once every other month go back and rewatch Iron Man, the original Iron Man. It's just, not only is it this, take the MCU away and you would have still had an incredible movie. Just Iron Man itself is fantastic. And it's contained, with, you didn't need Iron Man 2, 3, and the Avengers. And I mean, obviously that came, but standalone movie. It's so good. Like when they do that fighter jet scene and he has to call up Rhodey and said, "Hey, it is me." No, it's me in a suit. That whole scene when he goes to the Middle East and does this moment where he goes and puts his suit in action. That is cool. And that is Iron Man. I mean, that's everything you need. But we have a lot of Iron Man that have not only in the pipeline still, but also have come out. I mean, we've gotten 85 marks essentially, plus battle damage versions and war machines and Listerine versions and neon techs and comic book versions. I don't know. Is it the best looking one to date? Probably. I think the battle damage is probably the best they've done so far. The base by far is the best base they've done. Got your Ironmonger in there. And the big complaint is that they shrunk the Tony head sculpt down to where it actually looks like a head that fits on there as opposed to a giant oversized head on an Iron Man figure. A lot of people didn't like that. Go back and look at a bunch of the original Iron Mans. The heads do not proportionally look like they fit on the body, but now they do. So the one strike I have against this, you asked me, am I getting this one? Because I have all the Iron Mans except for House Protocol. Which I don't need a purple Iron Man and things like that. But I have a Mark III, but that's the one, the die-cast one that comes with the ab crunch torso to where you can get in the pose. I don't know if you can put this in the official superhero landing pose without it looking weird. Can you do that? I don't know. But it looks good. I think the paint apps are incredible. If you want an Iron Man and don't have one, go for it. But if you already have 15 like me, I just hold off.
Well, it looks like you
go
can.
Back to that.
Yeah. It looks like you can do it. So that's really good. Yeah, so that's
really
good. But I will say, it's, what is interesting, Kiko? I don't think I even noticed this until just now. Like the upper half is battle damage, but the other is not. I have to go back and look at the film and see if that's accurate.
I mean, that's the way all these have been engineered. All the battle damage pieces have always been just chest plates and fate plates.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the 85 battle damage right now. Yeah, I got to look at it again. But yeah,
well, that's a battle damaged figure. That wasn't like battle damaged parts.
Right. And I see with these are swappable. Same with the Mark 7, it's swappable parts and so forth and all that good stuff. But I mean, this figure, and I know with you, like you said, you don't have room for it, but this base is really good. This is a really cool, Ironmonger base. I think it's just fucking awesome. This is gonna be a figure that I probably regret passing on. Like, look at that. This is just really cool with the battle damage and just a really cool suit. This is probably my second or third favorite suit. This is probably my second favorite suit, but the Mark 7, man, and the battle damage 85 is iconic, bro. It's iconic. So you need that one. But Dean, what do you think, bro? I mean, this Iron Man Mark III, is this the definitive Iron Man for you?
It's pretty fucking close. I mean, the Mark III comes from a movie that kickstarted a whole, you can't say enough about the MCU. Yeah, generation of films. Thank you. It's crazy. It's kind of like peak Iron Man, at the time. If you're gonna have one Iron Man in your collection, this is a pretty good one to have. And the first Mark III that came out, it's not a bad figure. That's still a really solid figure. And this is even better. I mean, when you look at them side by side, it's, you know, kind of crazy. Like, God damn, like, I didn't think this one was not a good figure. And this one is still, you know, a little bit better. But like Kiko said, if you already have a bunch of Iron Man, I don't know if it's worth going back and getting this one, but I mean, fuck, it's such a cool movie and like Kiko said, when he first puts it on and flies over to the Middle East and starts fucking people up, like, that's so cool. So
this is all yours.
Pretty solid figure. I know a lot of people were saying the head sculpt seems a little small, and you know, when you look at it without the mask, but you know, it is a dude in a giant tank essentially. Like his head is going to look a little small. Like,
right,
it's not like the Iron Man suits of later dates where his technology's gotten better and it's a little more.
Yeah, this is an actual robot on him. It's not nano.
Yeah. So I don't really mind the whole smallish head look. But yeah, I think if you get this, you're not going to be disappointed. This is a solid figure.
It is, bro, 100%. And I kind of get the smaller head look. My brother actually mentioned to me he thought the head sculpt looked a little bit old, considering it was Iron Man 1 here that we're talking about.
That's true.
A little aged,
yeah, it does look a little bit aged. It almost looks like more like Endgame, he was saying. And I was like, I do kind of understand that sentiment. I do think that does make sense. But I'm looking at it, I still think it looks like RDJ. I don't think they've perfectly nailed his head sculpt yet, but they've done pretty good job. I don't think they've absolutely missed besides the Tony Stank one, but I think this one is a really good one. And I think, man, this is a like, put him in that pose, damn. This figure looks great. This figure looks really good. And again, you mentioned the scene in the desert. That scene is one of the best Marvel scenes ever. It's, of course, one of the most iconic because it was really the one that I think kickstarted a lot of it. I mean, that is the scene in that film, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I go back to the original trailer where it shows all this, you know, scenes, you know, get blah, 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 blah. But then it shows him land or whatever. The tank fires the missile. And there's no music. And then he aims, shoots the rocket, turns around, it explodes, and then the Iron Man from Ozzy hit. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, that was the coolest little like way to do like an introduction to a character. I mean,
right. And I mean, because you guys mentioned the original Mark III being a really good one, and it is, but I think this one just blows it out of the water. I always wanted a Mark III, but I was waiting for a remake, and they did it, and I still didn't get it because it's one of those, like I said, it's a matter of space. It's not a matter of want. But it's just, I don't want to give up the Mark 7. I've seen some comments in the chat about saying Mark 7's their favorite. Mark 7's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, and I think Mark 7, I just love the look of the Dean, but I also love the nostalgic factor because Avengers 1 is kind of what made me a super fan. So,
yeah, because I used to own the Mark 6, which was a fucking crazy good figure, but it's got the triangle arc reactor, which is also iconic in its own right. But kind of like in my mind's eye, when I think of Iron Man, it's the circle.
Sure.
And the Mark 7 is such a good suit. Also from a banger film that was my Iron Man for a really long time. But my cap is the Civil War cap. And I really love the Mark 46.
46 is badass.
And I sold my Mark 7 to get a 46. I still have not yet gotten one. If anyone's out there who has a Mark 46 and wants to let it go, well, let me know because I really need an Iron Man. I don't have an Iron Man now.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was
just going to say the biggest tragedy about this and why I think I don't want to upgrade is because it doesn't have the open faceplate option, you know, because it doesn't like a helmet he puts on. It's the open faceplate, which I don't think they include on this.
No, they don't.
Yeah, because until he like fights at the end where it's actually ripped off. He doesn't.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's true.
Inferior figure.
True. Mid.
Well, if you have the original Mark III, you probably just pop that head on.
Well, it might be too big at this point, right?
Yeah, maybe. That's the question because they're always sort of remodeled and revised just based on the new version. So I mean, it definitely could be.